Hello children, welcome back to the next part of chemical reactions and equations. In the previous class we studied about reactants, products and what are the changes that takes place during a chemical reaction. As I said you, chemical reaction involves equation children. The best example I gave you was carbon when it reacts with oxygen with what is formed? Carbon monoxide is formed. Now equations are written in two ways children. Equation, as I said, C plus O2 is CO, right? So this is nothing but this is a equation which is involving reactants and it is involving products. Now this is at your right hand side, so you can write it as RHS, right hand side, and reactants are towards your left, so you can write it as left hand side. First understand this, it involves two parts in it. One is the reactants which are written at left hand side and the products which are written at your right hand side. So this whole thing is called as equation. Now these equations are written in two forms. They are written in two forms. That is called as word equation. Now what is this word? Word refers to, before in the first class I have told you, I had written the atomic number, I had written the symbol, that is hydrogen, then I had written the name of the element, that is hydrogen. I am just giving you example taking one element. So we are having a list of elements, right? Now this word equation refers to the description of chemical reaction in a word. Description, what is this description? Now this hydrogen word, this whole word is written. It is not denoted by symbol. It is written with the whole word hydrogen. So here we have taken an example. Here we have taken an example. Don't get confused. So I will draw a line for it. Now zinc is a metal. So we have not written the symbol here. We have written the whole word here. Sulfuric acid. We have not written the symbol here. We have written the whole word. So these are reactants which are at left hand side, right? Now this whole representation of this equation, this whole thing is a equation. These are the reactants. These are the products which are at your right hand side. Writing the whole thing, zinc plus sulfuric acid, when these reactants react in a chemical reaction, what are the products formed? Zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. Writing this whole thing in words is called as word equation. It is called as word equation. After all, we all are lazy, children. We always go for a shortcuts to write. If I ask you to write every time this equation, carbon plus oxygen will give you carbon monoxide. So much time consumption, right? So much time consumption. In fact, you are not even able to give the number of molecules present also, right? So one more method of writing this equation is symbol way, which is a shorter way. The same equation is written in the form of a symbol. Let us see. Zinc. What is the symbol of zinc? Zn. Sulfuric acid. H2SO4. Sulfuric acid. Formula of sulfuric acid is H2SO4. I think in 9th standard you have read how to write the formulas, right? Please do not forget that. Very, very important. When zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, you are going to get zinc sulfate, ZnSO4. Reactants, then products, plus hydrogen. Now writing this is zinc or writing whole thing, zinc plus sulfuric acid. Time consumption children. So what is the shortest way? To write it with the symbols. So equations are written in the form of symbols, right? Now while writing these equations also there are some rules that have to be forward. We will be studying about these rules one by one. I think you have understood about this. You have understood about what are reactants. Reactants are the substance which are going to take part in the equation, chemical reaction. Okay. What are the products? Products are the substances that are formed from the chemical reactions. Products are always written at left hand side. Sorry, I stand correct. Reactants are always written at left hand side and products are always written at right hand side. So word equation will depict the whole words, whereas shorter way of writing equation is using a symbols, that is this way. Clear? A quick review we had. Now what are the things that have to be kept in mind while writing a chemical reaction? So here it is. Representations in chemical reactions. How are the chemical reactions to be written? First is using symbols. Using hydrogen, helium, lithium, zinc, aluminium. These all are symbols of the elements. Or chemical formula. What do you mean by chemical formula? Sometimes zinc will react with H2SO4. That is, what does this H2SO4? It is a chemical formula. It is a chemical formula. This is an element. This is the chemical formula. HCl, hydrochloric acid. It is also a chemical formula. Then you can see CaCO3. This is the chemical formula. So we all are, we know this chemical formulas. We are aware of this formula. So these are called as formulas, and this is the symbol of the element. So while writing the chemical reactions, either use the symbol, or if chemical formula is there, you need to write the chemical formula. Then with physical state. Now what do you mean by this physical state? Physical state, as I said you, state does not refer to any Maharashtra or Karnataka. It refers to the three states, that is solid, liquid and gaseous state. Now most of the metals, they are solid in state. Like you take sodium is solid, so you will be writing it as S. Okay. Now hydrogen is in gaseous state. You will be writing it as a G. Are you getting me? So these are represented by these states. They are written here. Okay. Now necessary conditions: temperature, pressure, catalyst. Catalyst means which is taking helping. Catalyst are those substances which initiate the chemical reaction without changing the product. So they are written at the top. For example, nickel is used as a catalyst. So here reactants are there. Let me take A plus B is a reactant, C is the product. So nickel is a catalyst. So the catalyst is written above this arrow mark. So first rule, write the symbols. So here is the symbol, just I gave you an example. Zn plus HCl. Reactants to be written at left hand side. Mention their state. So HCl is in liquid state. So what you are going to take? ZnCl plus H2. So this is in liquid state and this is in gaseous state. With their symbols, in case A plus B, if you are using any catalyst, so what arrow mark you know for the products to be formed, on that you are supposed to write that catalyst. Are you getting me? So this is all about representation of chemical reactions. Catalyst should be written on the arrow mark. It should be written on the arrow mark between reactants and products. Now, important of all, this you have to by heart, because the whole concept of chemical reactions in equations is depending upon law of conservation of mass, which states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. A new product is formed, but the matter which is present in that is not destroyed. So law of conservation of mass states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. So once again I repeat, by heart the symbols, by heart the names of the elements, okay, and by heart the laws of laws to represent the chemical reactions and law of conservation of mass. So this is is your homework, complete more, but still not too much. Okay. So next we will be studying in the next class about the equations and how to balance the equations.